Shattered, no, sorry, my bad. Azure versus Shift W Gamers. Azure is a relative new team, the underdogs they could consider themselves, and hungry to prove their worth and strive for team excellence, captained by Rusalka, who will be playing killer in our first game here. The team consists of Hamadan, Josh, Hannah, and Hunky God, with Yushi filling in that substitute role. They are new to the scene, but all of the players are veterans and ready to showcase what they can bring to the table, and they do have some competitive experience now as well. They have played in some tournaments leading up to the best of the best tournaments. Their opponents here are the Shift W Gamers, composed of content creators and OGs from the Dead by Daylight community. Malika has put together a team of excellent survivors and killers that I suspect that you guys will have a treat here. Malika, Super Aranova, Super Alf, and Mr. Snappy will be taking to the survivor side to hold W till the very end of the trial and make sure that they loop the killer as much as possible. Trickster Shadow comes in as the killer for this tournament here. A late submission from Shift W. Trickster Shadow has hours of experience in Dead by Daylight, close to 7,000, I believe I heard. I don't know. That's pure speculation, actually. But very, very, very experienced team. You know, Super Alf is a PlayStation player who has recently switched to PC to prove that console players know what they're doing when it comes to Dead by Daylight and know how to loop, know how to play, has so much experience, considers himself the best nurse on console. You have Super Aranova, who runs his own 1v1 tournaments all the time and is very familiar with how competitive play works as well. They're ready to bring the pizzazz to the team and flashlight and juke their way to victory. Match number 7 underway here on the Torment Creek. Rizulka's Hag setting up a web to catch the Shift W Gamers. Franklin's Demise has been selected due to the rule set that allows all 4 survivors to bring a unique item. Rizulka's not going to have any of that, and it makes sense considering that one of those items is, of course, a yellow flashlight. I believe Super Aranova will be sporting that, the Nia. There he is. Oh, he's cheeky. Bringing a event flashlight. They have the same battery life. It's okie dokie. The other perks here. Corrupt Intervention, Sloppy Butcher, and Hex No One Escapes Death. That is a very, very peculiar build. Rizulka is betting on their ability to lock down a single area of the map without any form of gen regression versus the Shift W Gamers. And we'll see how that plays out. Currently, Shift W crouching through the Corrupt Intervention stage, making sure they can't be spotted. What this does allow, of course, is the Hag the opportunity to set up her blood web of traps. I suppose not really a blood web, is it? But you get what I'm trying to say. Look at this. Super Alf has brought the old urban evasion. It seems like the team have done their research and have predicted successfully that this is going to be a Hag game from Rizulka, considering he is known as a Hag main in the Dead by Daylight scene, and now they will have the ability to crouch swiftly through those traps to make rescues happen. I love this from Shift W Gamers. It's amazing to see the research come through successfully. Super Alf now taking the lead on this chase. The trap being set at the pallet here as Rizulka will go the long way around to try and push Alf away. The Sloppy Butcher means that Alf can't be healed very quickly, and you can see in the bottom right corner the indicator there on Franklin's Demise. That item will get removed from the trial as soon as that counter reaches 0. Super Alf will lose that. I believe it was Toolbox. Or was it the medkit? It was the Toolbox, which is probably the okay thing to miss. A Dead Hard from the trap gets distance, and Pallet has spawned on the shack the correct direction. Alf will not be able to get the trap Pallet down, though, due to a trap placed earlier by Rizulka. Is this Spaceman is the question? No, thankfully not. Ooh. Malika fancies herself a hero. There's the pickup. Can she get the Pallet down? No way. Doesn't even attempt. Does take a hit, though. With Sloppy Butcher, maybe not something you want to do. Removing a single trap from the trial, though. We will see the first hook come through. Mr. Snappy working his way on a generator 60%. Super Aranova now 50%, and realizing that Hex Ruin is not something they have to worry about. First point goes the way of Azure. We'll see how Rizolka wants to play this. They have a hook set up in what I would say is their 3 or 4 generator set up here. 2 survivors came for the rescue here. And the first generator just gets completed. Malika in a locker, so that's an inner strength heal, I believe. Going to utilize those Dole Totems to heal through the Sloppy Butcher. That's another excellent perk choice. Predicting the Sloppy Butcher. Perhaps this is a very similar build to what Rizolka runs in other tournaments. If that's the case, then they may have given a little bit of information away that Shift W have been able to procure. Aranova will lose their flashlight there, and that's exactly what Rizolka wanted. They wanted the flashlight out of the hand as quickly as possible so that the traps could not be burnt. We'll have to see how Aranova plays around that. Super Alf trying to make some distance here. You can see Snappy's working a second generator, and it is going to be Alf locked into a chase. The team should have some good understanding that the trap web has been set up around the shack side of the map. And if that's the case, then you can assume that running towards main building is a good decision. I don't believe the Hag is in range to make that teleport. Or that one here is. The item cannot be rescued from the ground, and Rizolka will engage in a chase here with Super Aranova. Oh no! A bolt into the hands of the Hag, and that will be Aranova going on the hook, and the item almost fully dead on the ground. Second generator completed here. Alf will receive a touch-up from Mr. Snappy, using the medkit to do so swiftly. Malika almost securing the second generator for the Shift W gamers. Another hook secured, this time on to Super Aranova. The score 6-2 after this generator completes from Malika. And Detective's Hunch showcasing exactly where the totems are, so Malika can secure another token of that inner strength. The question is, will Malika utilize the information to get rid of those totems sooner rather than later? In theory, versus a Hag, you do need more than 3 tokens to be able to heal up when those traps happen, the Sloppy Butcher, all that. Oh, Aaron has been spotted crouching away. Or not, perhaps. The Corn Vision blinding Rizolka. Who rescued is the question, and where are they? They went with Aaron off to the corner. As a complete error of play, unforced error from Rizolka, missing the 2 survivors crouching in the distance. And now 2 generators remain, and Aaron will be rescued and healed. Malika secures another of those Dole Totems. I believe that's 3 cleanse so far. Mr. Snappy working hard. I think Mr. Snappy has completed all... No, that's not true. I was going to say all 3 generators, but we did just see Malika pop one. So this will be the 3rd generator pop for Mr. Snappy. Malika seems to be in chase. No, that's Super Aranova as the teleport goes through, perhaps. And Aaron will get healed. Where is Rizolka as we speak? Chasing scratch marks, but not chasing them hard enough. Once this generator gets completed, do we have a 3-gen that we have to worry about? That's what I want to know. Malika now taking chase here. Will throw the pallet during the stun onto Rizolka. How can Malika navigate the awkward web that is 1,000,001 traps? Well, successfully it seems. 4th generator completed for the Shift W gamers. That was Mr. Snappy throwing that pallet early. Make sure they get the stun. Rizolka with 3 traps in hand, doing their best to salvage a 3-gen that is not very ideal for the Hag here. With no gen regression, it is going to come down to that Hex. No one escapes death to try and secure kills in the end game, but we have already seen that Malika has been doing her due diligence and trying to remove those totems from the map to prevent a potential no-ed play in the end game. And that's what she's trying to do right now. Try and locate one of those totems she saw on Detective's Hunch when Snappy finished the generator. Rizolka still in chase with Mr. Snappy as we speak. Generator, Alf, and Aranova doing their best to work at Snappy. Happy to take the aggro for now because... Oh, he doesn't really have much of a choice, does he? Another trap placed down. That's going to be a window vault, and Mr. Snappy's going to have to play for the pallet here. I don't think he has the distance. No, never mind. Versus 110, of course he does. There it is. Hex Noid activated, and a totem spotted by Malika, who's now going to attempt to cleanse it. It takes 14 seconds to cleanse the totem, which means that, I suppose for this chase, it doesn't really matter Is it the lit totem? It is. Malika has found it. Detective Punch coming up huge. Mr. Snappy doing their best to loop the distance away. Teleport. Oh, is it going to be in time? There's the Noid cleansed. It's not in time, and these traps set off don't matter now because the survivors can take the hits. It's not going to be a one-shot down. Rizolka has been bested by the Shift W gamers here on the Torment Creek. A hit onto Super Aaron Nova could have been deadly earlier in the trial, but now it is just a measly scratch. A flesh wound and a pallet stun at Shack as Alf attempts to get the gate open near the Shack. 75%, it is almost open. Aaron will have to do their best to make the way around. Window vault. Firecracker. I don't think it really does much there, unfortunately. Unless it burns a trap. In which case, that'll be pretty cool. Mr. Snappy, though, has opened the gate on the other side of the map. I think that this is going to be a scot-free 4-man escape for the Shift W gamers. 1, 2, a third, and a fourth. It is 4-man escape here on the Torment Creek versus Azure's Rizolka. A hag pick, adventurous with no gen regression perks, but unfortunately for them, for Azure, it was not enough to secure victory here from the killer perspective, and a very successful game for Shift W. Round completed. The first half of this matchup versus the Shift W gamers and Azure. And it seemed like Shift W gamers were all over that hag pick. Well predicted. Urban Evasion brought Detective's Hunch with Inner Strength to negate the power of Hex No One Escapes Death. And despite the Franklin's demise, to try and rip the items from the hands of the survivors, it wasn't enough to break the spirits of Shift W gamers in their survivor round. Able to secure 4 escapes for 8 points, 10 points for the 5 generators, and only 2 hooks coming through from Azure's killer. Not the result they were hoping for. They do have a chance, though. The smallest sliver of a chance to rectify this situation as they switch sides to load up onto Torment Creek once more. It will be Trickster Shadow taking the killer role for Shift W gamers. Azure's survivors looking to do their best in this scenario. We'll throw it to a short break, but when we do return, game number 2 of this series between Shift W gamers and Azure will be coming right up. We are in to this match. The players rotating. And Trickster Shadow phase walking from spawn. Going to be looking to try and locate a survivor quickly. Off the spawn, we do have Wonky Cam, of course, for the Spirit, as we've seen all day. Hex Ruin, Pop Goes the Weasel, Hex No One Escapes Death, and Corrupt Intervention the build coming through. From Trickster Shadow, you can see Josh here from Azure about to run into the Spirit. Phase walking. Past. Safe for now. It seems like Hunky God may not be, though. Oh, is that a spot? It is. It is going to be Hammer Dan with Sprint Burst trying to get some distance over towards the pallet here. Fortunately, for Azure, the ability to wait out the Corrupt Intervention was not there. Trickster Shadow was standing still, perhaps. Runs into Hunky God. No, that was a phase walk to find Hunky God here. You see the generator being worked on in front of us. Power is ready to go. Trickster Shadow looking to follow that up, bringing duration and movement speed, yellow add-ons here. Can hear the ace going past behind him into the jungle gym towards the pallet. No, not towards the pallet. A Dead Hard, though, will get him there. Hunky God going to try and take distance with the Dead Hard and extend this loop even further through the window. Iron Chill activated for that 6% bonus vault speed. And just going to camp the Shack pallet to make sure he doesn't lose this. Now listen for the footsteps at the Shack pallet. Oh, very hard. But it wasn't wood. It was grass. And Hunky God has been bested here by Trickster Shadow, who comes back round. First hook goes through the way of Shift W gamers. And remember, with only 2 points secured in their first round, all Trickster Shadow needs to do is gain 3 hook states, I believe, and that will be enough to secure the victory here for the Shift W gamers. Starting a chase now with Hannah, I believe, from Azure. Playing Zarina here. Z-Wall not a position you really want to be in versus the Spirit. It's extremely difficult to play versus her, and it seems like Hannah has just mispositioned entirely through the window. Oh! She didn't bolt, she had him. She had perhaps tricked the Spirit into swinging prematurely. I can hear the footsteps going past. I think this is going straight back to the hook to make sure that no shenanigans are happening. Speaking of shenanigans, Josh get hit. What does XxShino want to do? This is looking to be a hook state secured. Since they're injured survivor, and we know that Hamadan here has just completed a generator. There it is, entity summoned. And Hunky God will be on their death hook as soon as they come off. That is 2 generators completed for Azure, knocking them up to 6 points. A second hook comes through for XxShino. Shift W at 20. A phase walk to try and locate a suspecting survivor. Not successful this time. See Hunky God trying to make distance, but has been spotted. Decisive strike in pocket will allow him to escape the killer's grasp if he does go down within the next 45 seconds. Here's that phase walk coming through from XxShino. Listening, trying to spout the ace, and has done so in the grass. Will he go for the insta pickup, or will we slug this out? That's the question here. Looks like it is going to be the pickup. Here comes the decisive strike. Hunky God has a second chance of survival. A phase walk scouting. Trying to find the ace at the pallet. Trying to fake out the pallet. Hunky God with the double fake coming through there at the pallet drop wins the 50-50. Another phase walk survived. It's a totem lit. Information gained for the team, but perhaps not enough. Another little pallet there, predicting the red light mine game. How can Hamadan help his team out here? I don't know. They're crouching to try and avoid the sound, but it's not enough. Ace may be quiet, but dead hard only prevents death for half a second. That is the pickup coming through from XxShino. That is going to be Hunky God going on a hook. Second hook and death. 2 points to be secured here for Shift W gamers. I think 2 points too many for Azure. As Hex Ruin triggering as the generator disappears there, giving information to XxShino that they are on top of a survivor. It is Hamadan here. With Iron Will, gonna look to try and gain distance on any phase walk. Oh! But not against XxShino. XxShino knows exactly how to deal with that situation. We'll find the hook coming through here. And at this stage, a breath of relief side, I would assume, for the killer, who can now just play for fun. Play to showcase their skill. Doesn't have to play for tournament survival anymore. Everything we see from now on is just enjoyment. As he accidentally bypasses the survivor there, but was able to recover very quickly. And hear the survivor in the shack. Oh, the vault, no into the hands. A bit of dedicated server. Loving coming through, but nothing XxShino can't recover from. That's the down going down on to Hannah here, who I believe is now going to be hooked for the second time. And Josh has to cross map to save Hamadan before they go second stage. Is going to reach that just in time. Our time was there, but the short 24-meter tear radius of the Spirit means that it was not applied. Josh now to be spotted without a sprint burst. We'll have to try and make it towards the window, but you can hear that. See that red stain on the backside. There really is no distance to be made. XxShino now scouting out. There is a pallet in this jungle gym. Survivor seems to be sitting in it, and the stun comes through into a blind as well. Important to blind this Spirit during the stun animation, because you actually can't do it during the pallet break animation. She looks down. Oh, scratch marks. And Hamadan is fully healed. There was a tap on the hook, but Hamadan Hops off it, hearing XxShino approaching now. Has to try and run for his tournament survival. Decisive strike, well, it's there, but it's not. He needs to go down. There's no way he makes the window again. Perhaps if he went down by accidentally, in the largest quotation marks possible, accidentally walking into the killer, and he could have prevented the, or could have allowed for the decisive strike. But as Hannah dies on hook, XxShino now going to slug for the 4K. Got 2 gens remaining. Try and locate Josh. FaZe walking across the map. If he can spot Hatch out and Hatch is somewhere near where Hamaden was slugged, then perhaps they go back to secure that hook. But as it works out, Hamaden does have Unbreakable and is going to be able to get themselves out of the situation. Josh, well, going to reveal his location perhaps here. Going to get rid of that Hex Ruin. Right next to where XxShino is as well. Does he really want to go through with that? I personally wouldn't. It doesn't even matter. He's been spotted by XxShino, and now XxShino going to look to try and finish the job onto the Claudette. There it goes. And then another slug to come out here. In this scenario, Josh does not have Unbreakable. There's really nothing the survivors can do. We expect the killer to slug for the 4K in these games, not allow any escapes if possible. I don't believe the hatch has been spotted yet by XxShino. Because when the hatch is spotted, if it can be hooked next to, then sometimes we will see these killers just opt into hooking and closing the hatch, playing the game with their opponent. And also the survivor can deny a hook point as well by dying to the entity in the endgame collapse. Hamaden has picked up Josh though. Josh has been spotted. Pallet's still here to play with. We'll see how Josh is able to do so. XxShino will break that, removing the option. Josh, who is going to try and double back on himself through the hill. Here comes the phase walk though. And there's down as well. And Hamaden has unfortunately found themselves in the field of vision of XxShino, and now will have to try and run for their life. Another phase walk coming in just a second. Hamaden playing between the corn as to not give any information as to their location. The sprint comes through, but it seems like XxShino has figured it out fairly quickly. But distance was gained. And Hamaden will now be able to play the short side of this loop. Pallet goes down. Phase walk happens in grass, making it very difficult for Hamaden to do anything. Tries the 360, but not to the success of the survivor. Final moments for Azure here in the best of the best tournament as XxShino phase walks to locate Ania, who will make it to the pallet. Pallet's done. Hamaden really wanting to play risky. Bold plays for sure. Here comes that phase walk though. Can they get the pallets done in time or get over the pallet again? Seems they can. But will he be able to get any more distance is the question. Josh currently slugged out for his life. The play for Hamaden is to try and loop XxShino for what seems like an eternity. Is just 4 minutes. The slug survivor in grass with Iron Will get spotted very quickly by a spirit who's paying attention to the environment, and that will be the final hit onto Hamaden. XxShino securing the down onto Hamaden for Azure. And now looking to hook on up here. Hatch has been located as well. So after hooking Hamaden here, XxShino can make their way over towards the hatch and prepare to close it to prevent the Claudette picking themselves up. But you may not want to risk it because of adrenaline being allowed in the tournament. We'll just sit on Josh now. Hatch has been closed, and you have 2 choices here as a survivor. You either crawl over to an exit gate so that you can pick yourself up with adrenaline and attempt to get the exit gate open immediately, or you attempt to crawl to the hatch if your teammate located it for you, which I think Hamaden was possibly able to do. XxShino standing over it, debating whether or not the decision is correct. If he bleeds out Josh, he doesn't get any points for the kill. Josh does get picked up by adrenaline, and now on the exit gate, 20 seconds could separate Josh from an escape or death. Going to attempt to prep the gate here. Oh, look at this hill. Is this hill showcasing both gates? It's hard to say with the sway, but the fact that Oh, no, it's not. He can't quite see it. This might be an escape for Josh. Looks like Trickster Shadow doesn't want to spend too much time on this side of the map. Josh is now going to make their way back over towards the X again. And I think if that's the case, then Trickster Shadow should make their way over the hill in just a second and see a dirty deed being done by the survivor. And Josh knows that it is done. The no edge showcased as well. GG, well played to Shift W Gamers coming through with a demanding scoreline here versus Azure. They take the series 28-8 and progress to the double elimination stage, day 2 of the tournament. A big win. There you have those scores broken down for you. The Shift W Gamers, the victors in this match 7 of the round 16. 28-8, the final scoreline. A demanding, dominating killer game coming through from Trickster Shadow, securing 10 points for the Shift W Gamers and the full 18 from their survivor team as well, showcasing class on the Torment Creek. Unfortunately for Azure, this is where we say goodbye to them. Unsuccessful in their venture to claim that title of the best, but perhaps future tournament they'll be able to showcase what they have to offer. GG, well played to Azure, and congratulations to the Shift W Gamers. Another team struck out of the best tournament, blood spilled on the Torment Creek as Azure leaves us in this tournament. And now only 2 remain. Sweater Force will take on Shattered Dreams momentarily after a short break. But when we do return, the final game of the round of 16 coming your way.